We need the help of other parts of government, including the judiciary, to help make a dent. So I was disappointed to hear about that.
Mayor Greenberg joins a bipartisan criticism of a judge's decision to cut a violent defendant's recommended sentence to less than half. This is Wave News at 6. I'm Brian Schlonsky.
And I'm Myra Ansari. Christopher Thompson was convicted of kidnapping a woman that he didn't know in 2023. He robbed the victim and then sexually abused her multiple times.
Yeah, horrible story. Judge Tracy Davis rejected a jury's recommendation of 65 years and instead sentenced Thompson to just 30 years in prison. Continuing our troubleshooter coverage of this case, Wave News reporter David Mattingly finds continuing criticism of the judge's decision.
Brian, Mayor Greenberg joins the Commonwealth's attorney and Metro Council Republicans in expressing disappointment in the judge's decision. Greenberg said the success of his administration's focus on reducing violent crime needs more than just the work of LMPD. He said it also takes the judiciary to keep communities safe. Judge Tracy Davis rejected the jury's recommendation of 65 years for Christopher Thompson as too high, opting instead to give him 30 years and a chance for rehabilitation. When asked about the case, Mayor Greenberg had this to say.
I'm disappointed in that change of the sentence. I think it's very important for individuals to be held accountable when they commit violent crimes, and I think it's important to respect the jury process as part of that.
Metro Council member Anthony Piagentini yesterday called the defendant Thompson nothing short of a sociopath. He was speaking for Metro Council Republicans, saying Judge Davis, during a 2-year, 8-month period, granted 44 shock probations, reducing the time criminals spent locked up. We have not been able to immediately confirm those numbers. Judge Davis is prohibited from commenting for ethical reasons on her decision. Reporting live, David Mattingly, Wave News.